and welcome to Dade County High School Theater's production of Sophocles' Antigone. Please take this time to silence or turn off your cell phones or other electronic devices. In case of emergency, the exits are located to the left and right sides of the stage under the clearly marked exit signs. Thank you for attending and supporting Dade County High School Fine Arts. All proceeds, donations, and ticket sales for this show go toward future productions. And without further ado, we present to you Sophocles' Antigone.
Me, dear sister, you would think that we had already suffered enough. I can't imagine any grief you and I have not gone through, and now have they told you the new decree of our King Creon?
I have heard nothing. I know that 2 sisters lost 2 brothers, a double death in a single hour, and that the losing archive army fled in the night. But beyond this, nothing.
I thought so, and that is why I wanted you to come out here with me. There's something we must do.
Why do you speak so strangely?
Listen, Ismene. Creon buried our brother Anticles with military honors, gave him a soldier's funeral, and it was right that he should. But Paul and Isis, they both fought as bravely and died as miserably. They say that Creon has sworn no one shall mourn for him, no one shall bury him, that his body must lie in the fields, a sweet treasure for carrion birds to find as they search for food. That is what they say. And our good Creon, he's coming here to announce it publicly. And the penalty is stoning to death in the public square. There it is. Now you can prove what you are, if you're a true sister or a traitor to your family.
Antigone, you are mad. What could I possibly do?
You must decide whether you will help me or not.
I do not understand you. Help you in what?
I am going to bury him.
Bury him? You have just said that the new law forbids it.
He is my brother and he is yours too.
But think of the danger, Antigone. Think of what Creon will do.
Creon is not enough to stand in my way.
Aha, sister. Our 2 brothers died, each killed by the other's sword, and we are left. But, oh, Antigone, think of how much more terrible than these our own death would be if we should go against Creon and do what he has forbidden. I mean, look, we are only women. We cannot fight men, Antigone. The law is strong. We must give in to the law, in this thing and in worse. So I beg the dead to forgive me, for I am helpless. I must yield to those in authority, and I think it is dangerous business to always be meddling.
If that is what you think, then I should not want you, even if you ask to come. But I will bury him. And if this is a crime, then I say that this crime is holy. It is the dead, not the living, who make the longest demands. We die forever. But you may do as you like, since the laws of God mean nothing to you.
They mean a great deal to me. But I have no strength to break the laws that were made for the public good.
That's your excuse, I suppose, but I will bury the brother I love.
Antigone, I am so afraid for you.
You need not be. You have yourself to consider after all.
You must tell no one about this. I mean it, but I will keep your secret, I promise.
Oh, tell it. Tell everyone. Think how they'll hate you when they learn you knew about it all the time.
You're so fiery, but you should be cold with fear.
Perhaps, but I am only doing what I must.
But can you do it? I say that you cannot.
Very well. When my strength gives out, I shall do no more.
Antigone, impossible things should not be tried at all.
Go away, Ismene. I shall be hating you soon. The dead will too, for your words are hateful. Leave me my foolish plan. I am not afraid of the danger if it means death. It's not the worst of deaths, death without honor.
Go then, if you feel that you must. You are unwise, but a loyal friend to those who love you.
Now, the long blade of the sun, level east from west, touches with glory thieves of the seven gates.
Woo!
Yeah!
Open, unlidded eye of golden day, oh marching light across the eddy and rush to rusty stream, striking the watch of the enemy, thrown headlong backwards from the blaze of morning.
Polynesius,
Boo!
their commander, roused them with windy phrases. He, the wild eagle, screaming insults above our land.
His wings their shields of snow,
His crest, their martial helms.
Against our seven gates in the yawning ring, the famished spears came onward in the night. But before our jaws were sated with their blood, a pine fire took garland of our towers.
He was thrown back, and as he turned, great thieves, no tender victim for his noisy power.
Rose like a dragon behind him, shouting, "War!"
For God hates utterly the brave bragging tongues, and when he beheld theirs smiling.
Their swagger of golden helms.
the front of us thunder blasted, their first man from our walls.
Yeah!
We heard a sharp triumph high in the air, turn into a scream. Far out in the flaming R, he fell with his windy torch, and the earth struck him.
And others storming in fury, no less than his, found shock of death in the dusty joy of battle.
Seven captains at seven gates yielded their clinging arm to the god that bends the battle line and breaks it.
These two only, brothers in blood, face to face in matchless rage, mirroring each other's deaths, clashed in long combat.
But now, in the beautiful morning of victory,
Let thieves of the many chariots sing for joy.
With hearts of dancing, we take leave of war.
And our temple shall be filled with sweet hymns of praise, and the long night shall echo with our chorus. But now, at last our new king is coming. Creon thieves and auspicious dawn of all his reign. Creon! Where are the nuclear places that shifting fate has woven for him? Fate! What is his counsel? Why is he some of the well-to-do men to hear him?
Prosperous.
Wealthy! Silk-stalking, well-mannered.
Copious.
lavish, rich,
High class.
sweet smelling.
Great!
I have the honor to inform you that our ship of state, which recent storms have threatened to destroy, has come safely to harbor at last, guided by the merciful wisdom of heaven. I have summoned you here because I know that I can depend upon you. You never hesitated in your duty to our late ruler Oedipus, and when Oedipus died, your loyalty was transferred to his children. Unfortunately, as you know, the princes Eteocles and Polyneices have killed each other in battle, and I, as the next in blood, have succeeded to the full power of the throne. Now, no one values friendship more highly than I, but we must remember that friends made at the risk of wrecking our ship are not real friends at all. These are my principles at any rate, and that is why I've made the following decision concerning the sons of Oedipus. Eteocles, who died as a man should die, fighting for his country, is to be buried with full military honors, with all the ceremony that is usual when the greatest of heroes die. But his brother, Polynesius, who came back with fire and sword against his native city, whose one idea was to spill the blood of his blood and to send his own people into slavery. Polyneices, I say, is to have no burial. No man is to touch him or say the least prayer for him. He shall lie on the plain, unburied, and the birds and the scavenging dogs may do with him whatever they like.
If that is your will, Creon, you have the right to enforce it. We are yours! We are yours! We are yours! We are yours!
That is my will. Take care that you do your part.
Then what is it that you would have us do?
You will give no support to whoever breaks this law.
Only a crazy man is in love with death!
Only a crazy man is in love with death!
Only a crazy man is in love with death. Only a crazy man is in love with death.
Won't say I'm out of breath for running, King. But every time I stop to think what I have to tell you, that little voice in my head kept saying, "Ah, you fool. Don't you know you're running straight into trouble?" But another voice kept saying, "Well, if you don't get the news to Creon first, it'll be even worse for you."
But good sense won out. At least I hoped it was good sense. And here I am with a story that makes no sense at all. But I'll tell it anyhow, because as I say, what's going to happen is going to happen, and...
Come to the point. What have you to say?
I did not see who did it. You must not punish me for what someone else has done.
A comprehensible defense. More effective, perhaps, if I knew its purpose. Now come, what is it?
A dreadful thing. I don't know how to put it.
Out with it!
Well then, the dead man, Polynesius, someone new dust on the slimy flesh. Someone has given it a burial that way and gone.
And the man who dared do this?
I swear, King, I do not know. You must believe me.
Listen, the ground was dry, not even a sign of a digging, not even a wheel track in the dust. It was when they relieved us this morning, the corporal, they pointed it up to us.
There it was. The strangest look. The body was just mounded over with light dust, you see? Not buried really, but just enough for those peace or any dogs or wild animals that had been there.
Oh, and then what a scene there was. Every man of us accusing the other. We all had proof that the other man did it. We all had proof that we couldn't have done it. We were ready to take hot iron in our hands, walk through fire, swear by all the gods it was not I. I didn't know who it was, but it was not I.
Then someone came along and said something that silenced us and made us stare down to the ground. You had to be told the news, so here we are. No happy to be here than you. Nobody likes the man who brings bad news.
I've been wondering, King, could it be if the gods have done this?
The gods!
Stop! Must you doddering wrecks go out of your heads entirely? The gods? Why? Why would the gods favor this corpse? How had he served them? Find me the man who buried Polyneices, or your deaths will be the least of your concern. I'll string you up alive. Do you understand me? Bring me the man.
Bring me the man. I'll eat nothing better than bringing him the man. But bring him or not, you have not seen the last of us here. At any rate, I'm safe.
Words are for air thought is wrapped in the air, fashion kiss good news.
statecraft carries in his skill to deflect the arrows of snow.
Spears of winter rain from every wind. He has made himself secure from all but one in the late wind of death he cannot stand.
Oh, clear intelligence, force beyond all measure. Oh, better man, working both good and evil. When the laws are kept, how proudly the city stands. When the laws are broken, what if the city then?
Never may the anarchic man find rest in my heart. Never be it said that my thoughts are his thoughts.
Never was there the world of wonders, but none more wonderful than man.
What does this mean? Surely this captive woman is the Princess Antigone. Why should she be taken?
Irizuna did it. We caught her in the very act of burying him. Where's Creon?
Here! What has happened? Why have you come back so soon?
There was the who did it. She buried the body. She's the guilty one. Take her, question her, judge her as you will. I'm through with the whole thing and glad of it too.
But this is Antigone. Why have you brought her here?
She buried the body. I tell you.
Is this the truth?
I saw it with my own eyes, King. Can we say more?
The details, come, tell me quickly.
It was like this. After those terrible threats of yours, King, we went back and brushed the dust off the body. The skin was still fresh and stinky. And we went and took guard towards windward. No napping happened until the white round sun whirled above us.
Then suddenly, a storm of dust roared up from the earth, and the plain vanished with all of its trace into the stinging dark. We closed our eyes and endured it. The whirlwind lasting a long time, but it passed. And then we looked, and there was Antigone. I have seen a mother bird come back to a stripped nest, heard her crying bitterly, a broken note or two for the young one stolen. Just so, when this girl found the bare corpse and all of her love's work wasted, she wept and cried on heavens to whom the hands have done this thing.
Oh, and she brought more dust and sprinkled wine 3 times over her brother's ghost. We went and took her immediately. She denied nothing, even when we charged her what she has done.
And this was a great comfort to me, and some uneasiness, for it's a great thing to escape from death, but no great pleasure to bring death to a friend.
Yet, I always say, there's nothing so comfortable as your own safe skin.
And you, Antigone, you with your head hanging, do you confess this thing?
I do. I deny nothing.
Tell me briefly. Had you heard my proclamation touching this matter?
It was public. Could I help hearing it?
And you dared defy the law.
I dared. It was not God's proclamation. That final justice that rules the world below makes no such laws. Your edict, King, was strong, but your strength is weakness itself against the unrecorded laws of God. They are not merely now, they were and shall be operative forever, beyond man utterly. I knew I must die. Even without your decree, I am only mortal. But if I must die now before it is my time, surely this is no hardship. Can anyone living as I live, with evil all about me, think death less than a friend? This death of mine is of no importance, but if I would have left my brother lying there unburied, I should have suffered. Now I do not. You smile at me. Think me a fool if you like, but it may very well be that a fool convicts me of folly.
Go, all of you! Arrest Ismene. I accuse her equally. You'll find her sniffling in the house.
Creon, what more do you want than my death?
Nothing. That gives me everything.
Then I beg you, kill me. This talking is a great weariness, and your words seem distasteful to me, and I'm sure that mine seem so to you, and yet they should not seem so. I should have praise and honor for what I have done. These men here would praise me if their lips weren't frozen shut with fear of you.
Maybe you are alone in that opinion.
No, they are with me, but they keep their tongues in leash.
Maybe, but you are guilty, and they are not.
There's no guilt in reverence for the dead.
But Eteocles, was he not your brother too?
My brother too.
And you insult his memory.
The dead man would not say that I insulted.
He would, for you honor a traitor as much as him.
His own brother, traitor not and equal in blood.
Eteocles defended his country while Polyneices made war on it.
Nevertheless, there are honors due all the dead.
Not the same for the wicked as for the just.
Ah, Creon, Creon, which of us can say what the gods hold wicked?
Antigone.
It is my nature to join in love, not hate.
Go join the men! If you must have your love, find it in hell!
But see, Ismene comes. The storm cloud that runs over her face is of gentle sorrow. Those tears are sisterly.
You too, Ismene. Snake in my ordered house, sucking my blood stealthily. And all the time I never knew that these two sisters were aiming at my throne. So tell me, Ismene, do you confess your share in this crime or deny it? Answer me!
Yes. If she will let me say so, I am guilty.
No, I would not have you say so. You would not help me, and I would not have you help me.
But now I know what you meant, and I'm here to join you and to take my share of the punishment.
The dead men and the gods of the dead know whose act this was, Ismene. Words are not friends.
Do you refuse me, Antigone? I want to die with you. And I too have a duty that I must discharge to the dead.
You shall not lessen my death by sharing it.
But what do I care for life when you are dead?
Ask Creon. You're always hanging on his opinions.
You are laughing at me. Why, Antigone?
It's a joyless laughter, Ismene.
But can I do nothing?
Yes. Save yourself. There are those who would praise you, and I would have honor too. I shall not envy you.
But Antigone, we are equally guilty.
No. You are alive, but I belong to death.
You there. I beg you to observe these girls. One has just lost her mind, and the other, it seems, has never had one at all.
Grief teaches even the steadiest minds to waver, King.
Yours certainly did, when you assumed guilt with the guilty.
But your own son's bride.
I will have no wicked women for my sons.
Oh, dearest Haman, how your father wronged you.
Enough of your childish talk of marriage. Go, take them and guard them well, for they are but women, and even brave men run when they see death coming.
Fortunate is the man who has never tasted God's vengeance, for once the anger of heaven is struck, that house is shaken.
Forever, damnation runs behind each child, like a wave cresting out of the black northeast.
And the long darkness roars up and bursts, drumming death upon the wind-whipped sand.
I have seen this gathering sorrow time long past loom upon Oedipus's children, generation from generation.
Takes the compulsive rage of the enemy god.
So lately this last flower of Oedipus' line has drank the sunlight.
But now, with a passionate word and a handful of dust, have closed up all its beauty.
What mortal arrogance transcends the wrath of Zeus?
Sleep cannot lull him, nor the effortless long months of the timeless gods.
But he is young forever, and his house is the shining day of high Olympus.
All that is and shall be!
And all the past is his, and the straying dreams of men may bring them ghosts of joy.
But as they drowse, the walking embers burn them, and they walk with fixed eyes as blind men walk.
No pride on earth is free of the curse of heaven.
Fate works most for woe with folly's fairest show.
Man's little sorrow is the spring of...
But now, the king and Haman, the last of all your sons, is here. Is it grief for Antigone that brings him here, or bitterness at being robbed of his own bride?
Son, you have heard my final judgment on that girl. Have you come here hating me, or have you come with deference and with love in whatever I do?
I am your son, Father, and you are my guide. You make things clear for me, and I obey you. No marriage means more to me than your continuing wisdom.
Good. Ah, son, that is the way to be. Subordinate. Everything else, my child, to your father's will. This is what a man prays for, that he may get sons attentive and dutiful in his house, each one hating his father's enemies and honoring his father's friends. Of all the people in this city, only she has had contempt for my law and broken it. Son, do you want me to show myself weak before the people, or to break my sworn word? No. And I will not. The woman dies.
No, please, no.
I will have no dealings with lawbreakers, critics of the government. Whoever is chosen to govern should be obeyed, must be obeyed. In all things, great and small, just and unjust. Oh, son, the man who knows how to obey, and that man only knows how to give commands when the time comes, no matter how fast the spears come. He's a good soldier. He'll stick it out.
Father, please. Please. Reason is God's crowning gift to man, and you are right to warn me against losing mine. I shall not say, and I hope that I shall never want to say, that you have reasoned badly. Yet, there are other men who can reason too, and their opinions might be helpful. You are not in a position to know everything that people say or do, or even what they feel. Your temper terrifies them, and they will tell you only what you would like to hear. But I, at any rate, can listen, and I have heard them muttering and whispering in the dark about Antigone. That girl. They say no woman has ever so unreasonably died so shameful a death for a generous act.
Yeah.
She kept him from dogs and vultures. Is this a crime?
No!
She buried him. Should we kill her?
No!
Death! She should have all the honor we can give her.
Yeah!
This is the way they talk out there in the city.
Anarchy! Anarchy! Show me a greater evil. This is why cities tumble, son.
Do not believe that you alone can be right. The man who thinks that, the man who maintains that only he has the power to reason correctly, the gift to speak, to soul. A man like that, when you know him, turns out empty.
No. Good lives are made so by discipline, son. We keep the laws then, and the lawmakers, and no woman shall seduce us. If we must lose, let's lose to a man at least. Is a woman stronger than we?
It is not reason never to listen to reason. Forget you were angry. Let yourself be moved. I know I am young, but please, let me say this. The ideal condition would be, I admit, that men should be right by instinct. But since we are all too likely to go astray, the reasonable thing to do is to learn from those who can teach.
You will do well to listen to him, King, if what he says is sensible, and you, Haman, must listen to your father. Both speak well.
You think it right for a man of my years and experience to go to school to my son?
It is not right if I am wrong, but if I am young and right, what does my age matter?
You think it right to stand up for an anarchist?
Not at all. I pay no respect to criminals.
Then she is not a criminal.
The city proposes to teach me how to rule.
And the city proposes to teach me how to rule.
Who is talking like the boy now?
My voice is the one voice giving orders in the city,
It is
son.
no city that takes orders from one voice.
The state is the king.
If the state is a desert.
You know nothing of this, son.
Call me son one more time.
Yeah! This boy, it seems, has been taken in by a woman.
If you were a woman, my concern would only be for you.
Your concern. In a public brawl with your father.
And how about you? In a public brawl with justice.
With justice. when all that I say is within my rights?
You have no right to trample on God's right.
Fool! Adolescent fool taken in by a woman!
You'll never see me taken in by anything vile.
Every word you say is for her.
And for you, and for me, and for the gods under the earth.
You'll never marry her while she lives.
Then she must die.
No.
But her death will cause another.
What? Another? Son, have you lost your senses? Is this an open threat?
There is no threat in speaking to emptiness.
You'll regret the superior tone of yours. You are the empty one.
If you were not my father, I'd say you were perverse.
You girl-struck fool, don't play at words with me!
I'm sorry. You prefer silence.
By God, you'll watch it. I swear you shall. Bring her out! No! Bring the woman out! Let her die before his eyes! Right here, right now, with her bridegroom beside her.
Not here, no. No. She will not die here, King. And you will never see my face again. So go on raving as long as you've a friend to endure you.
Gone. Creon, a young man enraged is dangerous.
Let him do, or dream to do, more than a man can. He shall not save these girls from death.
These girls? You have sentenced them both?
No, you're right. I will not kill the one whose hands are clean.
But Antigone!
I will take her far away to live in a vault of stone. She shall have food, as the custom is, to absolve the state of her death. From there, let her pray to the gods of hell. They are her only gods. Perhaps they may show her an escape from death. Or she may learn, though late, that piety shown the dead is pity in vain.
But I can no longer stand in awe of this, nor see what I see. Keep back my tears.
Here is Antigone. Pass into that chamber where all find sleep at last.
Look upon me, friends, and pity me. Turning back at the night's edge to say goodbye to the sun that shines for me no longer. Now sleepy death summons me down to Acheron, their coldy shore. There is no bright song there, nor any music.
Yet not unpraised, without any kind of honor. At last, you walk into the underworld.
Untouched by sickness, broken by no sword. What woman has ever found your way to death?
Is this not for you? Glory in our world and in the world beyond.
Yes. Ah, friends, can you not wait until I'm dead? O thieves, be witness for me. Denied all pity, unjustly judged, and think word of those whose path turns into dark earth, where there are no more tears.
But you have passed beyond human daring, and come at last to place a stone, where justice sits.
I cannot tell what shape your father's guilt appears in this.
You've touched it at last. Infection of all our family. O Oedipus, father and brother, your marriage strikes from the grave to murder mine. All my life I have felt the blasphemy of my birth follow me. I have been a stranger here in my own land.
You have made your choice to bury your brother and break the law. Your death is the doing of your own conscious hand.
Then let me go, since all your words are bitter and the very light of the sun is cold to me. Lead me to my vigil where I shall have neither love nor lamentation, no song, but silence.
If dirges and plant lamentations could put off death, men would be singing forever. Go, take her to the vault. Whether she lives or dies, that's her affair, not ours. Our hands are clean.
Soon, I shall be with my own again, and I shall see you, and father and mother, and dearest Polynesius, dearest indeed. Since it was my hand that washed him clean and poured the ritual wine, and my reward is death before my time. And yet as men's hearts know, I have done no wrong. I shall know the truth in death. But if the guilt lies upon Creon, who judged me, then I pray, may his death equal my own. Come, let us wait no longer.
My queen, all day this beauty was locked away in a brazen cell where the sunlight could not come. A small room still as any grave enclosed her. Yet, she was a princess too, and Zeus in a rain of gold poured love upon her.
Oh, child, no power in wealth or war or tough sea-blackened ships can prevail against untiring destiny.
The cuckoo's a fine bird. He sings as he flies. He brings us good tidings. He tells us no lies. This is the way the blind man comes.
Blind man.
Princes, lockstep, two heads lit by the eyes of one. Eyes of one.
What new thing have you to tell us, old Tiresias?
I have much to tell you. Listen to the prophet Creon. Listen, Creon. I was sitting in my chair of Audrey at the place where the birds gather about me. Caw-caw, caw-caw, they were all a chatter. Caw-caw, caw-caw. As in their habit, when I suddenly heard a strange note in their jangling, a scream, a whirling fury. I knew that they were fighting, tearing each other, dying. In a whirlwind of wings clashing, I was afraid. I began the rites of a burnt offering at the altar. No! But Hephaestus failed me!
Hephaestus!
Instead of a bright flame, there was only a spurtering slime of a fat thigh flesh melting! The entrails dissolved in a gray smoke. The bare bone burst from the welter. And no blaze. This was a sign from heaven. My boy described it, seeing for me as I see for others. I tell you, Creon, you yourself have brought this new calamity upon us. Our hearts and authors are stained with the corruption of dogs and carrion birds that the glut themselves of Oedipus' son, Antigone's brothers. Think, these are no trifles. All men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. Give in to the dead men then. Do not fight with the corpse. What glory is it to kill a man who is dead? Think, I beg of you. It is for your own good that I speak as I do. You should be able to yield for your own good.
My sister will be okay.
It seems that the prophet has made me her special province. All my life long I have been sort of a target for the dull arrows of doddering fortune tellers. No, Tiresias, if your birds, if the great eagles of the gods themselves took him stinking bit by bit to heaven, I would not yield. I do not fear pollution. No man can defile the gods.
King, you will drive me to words.
Say them!
Say no! Them! You will find them too costly.
No doubt. Speak.
Then take this and take it to heart. The time is not far off when you shall pay back. Corpse for corpse, flesh for your own flesh. You have thrust this child into living night. You have kept the gods below that the child is theirs. The one on the grave before their death, the other dead denied their grave. This is your crime, and the furies and the dark gods of hell are swift with terrible punishment for you. Not many days, and your house will be full of men and women weeping, and curses will be hurled at you from far. Cities grieving for sons unburied, left to rot for the walls of Thebes. These are my arrows, Creon. They're all for you. But come, lead me home. Let him waste his fine anger upon younger men. Maybe we'll learn at last to control a wiser tongue and a better head.
The wise one is gone, but King, her words remain to plague us. I cannot remember that she was ever false.
Oh, it is true. It troubles me. Oh, it is hard to give in, but worse to risk everything for stubborn pride.
Go quickly, free Antigone from her vault, and build a tomb for the body of Polynesius.
You would have me do this?
Creon, yes, and it must be done at once. God moves swiftly to cancel the folly of stubborn men.
I will do it. Go, bring Axe's servants. I am the one who buried her, and I will set her free. Oh, my mind misgives. The laws of the gods are mighty, and a man must serve them to the last day of his life.
God of many names! God of many names! God of many names! God of many names! Flames on our hills! The flame of torches! The nymphs of Iacus! Dance at the spring! God of many names! Heavenly child! Bride of the thunderer! Shadow of flame is upon us! God of many names! God of many names! God of many names! God of many names! Io! Fire! Chorister of the throbbing stars, oh pierced among the voices of the night, thou son of God, blaze for us! Blaze for us! Oh, come with chord rapture of the circling man out to cry, Io, Ica! God of many names! God of many names! God of many names! God of many names!
A messenger has come with the news now.
I cannot say of any condition of human life. This is fixed. This is clearly good or bad. Fate rises up and fate casts down the happy and unhappy alike. No man can tell his fate.
Your words hint at sorrow. What is your news for us?
They're dead. The living are guilty of their death.
Who is guilty? Who is dead? Speak.
Haman. Haman is dead. And the hand that killed him is his own.
His own or his father's?
Sadly, his own. Driven mad by the murder his father had done.
Tiresias. Tiresias, how clearly you saw it all.
This is just my news. You must draw what conclusions you can from it yourself.
I've heard something, friends. As I was unlocking the gates of Pallas's shrine, for I needed her help today, I heard a voice telling of some new sorrow, and I fainted. There at the temple with my maidens all about me. But But speak again. Whatever it is, I can bear it. Grief and I are no strangers.
Well, Queen, I went with Creon to the outer plains where Polynesius was lying. No friends to pity him, and his body shredded by dogs. We bathed the corpse in holy water and then picked up the fresh broken branches scattered about to burn what was left of it. And upon the urn we heaped up a towering barrow of what was his own land. After that, we ran to the tomb where Antigone lay on her bed of stone. One of the servants had decided to go ahead, and he heard a voice, grieving within the chamber. After getting news of this, Creon begged us all to make haste. Look through the crevice there, and tell me if it's Haman or some other deception of the gods. We, of course, obeyed, and in the cavern's furthest corner, we saw Antigone hung by her own fine linen veil. Haman beside her, his arms about her waist, lamenting her. Creon just rushed in there, but Haman said nothing in his father's presence. Only stood up and drew his sword, and then lunged. Creon shrank back, luckily, but the boy, desperate against himself, drew the blade half its length into his own side. In his final moments, he went next to Antigone and held her in his arms again. His blood bright red on her cheek. But do not worry. She is his at last, his bride in the houses of the dead.
No. I said it. She has left us without a word. What can this mean?
It troubles me too, yet such grief is not meant for public lamentation.
I fear this deep silence.
I will go see what she is doing. I will go in.
But see, here's the king himself. Oh, look at him, bearing his own damned son.
Nothing, you say, can touch me anymore. Here you see, the father murdering the murdered son, and all my civic wisdom. Oh, Haman, so young to die. I was the fool, not you, and you died for me.
That was the truth, but you failed in learning it.
Oh, the truth is hard to bear. Surely a god has crushed me beneath the hugest weight of heaven, driven me headlong a barbaric way to trample out the thing I held most dear.
The burden in your hands is heavy, Creon, but it's not all. You'll find more in your house.
What worse than this shall I find there?
The queen is dead.
No, 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 no! Oh, portal death, deaf world. Angel of evil, I was dead, and your words are death again. So tell me, is it true? Can it be true? Is my wife dead?
Has death read death?
You can see for yourself.
Oh, pity. Oh, pity. True. All true and more than I can bear.
She stood before the altar, her heart welcoming the knife. Her last breath was a curse for the father, for the murder of her son.
Oh, God. I am sick with fear. Are there no swords here? Has nobody a blow for me?
Her curse was upon you for the death of all.
Take me away. I have been rash and foolish. I look for comfort, and my comfort lies here dead! Take me away. I have neither life nor substance. Everything I touch has come to nothing. Fate has brought everything to dust.
There is no happiness where there is no wisdom. No wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise.
For our seniors, will my seniors please step out, step forward, and take their last bow?